Welcome, Nelson. Welcome, brother. Happy early birthday. Hang on. All right.
You're muted, Nelson.
welcome,
Oh, hey guys.
welcome.
Sorry about that. Hi.
You're
Thank you. Thank
good.
you,
Good
Alex, for
morning,
my good
everyone.
wishes. And thank you more importantly for your service. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Hi,
you're very
everyone. Thank you
welcome.
for letting me know I was on mute.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to, we just did a little close eye meditation with our online Zoom group. If you ever want to join us online, the link is pinned right there. You guys can go into that, and as soon as you register, you will get a link that takes you to the Zoom. Our Zoom call is, it's been going on for almost 4 years now. So recently, I've started to share this live with everybody. I wanted to touch more lives, and yeah, so we started this morning with a close eye meditation where we uh, we saw the light. Okay, we saw the light in our enemies and in things that we situations where we find ourselves uncomfortable or resentful or regretful. So today's topic is, I called it forgiveness helps you pay bills. So what does that even mean? It's like, what, Alex, what are you talking about here? Forgiveness helps us pay bills. So the course says that forgiveness is offers you everything that you want. Forgiveness is the key to happiness, and I've kind of just changed it around, and forgiveness helps us pay bills. And how does that happen? See, here's the thing. If you can't pay your bills, and if you're having some money issues, it's probably not a new thing. It's probably been ongoing your whole life. Make money, lose money, make money, give it away, make money, get screwed over by somebody, right? Trust someone, get screwed over. And that's kind of the cycle that we want to break. There's an intelligence that is coursing through the world that is basically forcing you to learn a lesson, and because you are not learning it, it keeps happening over and over and over again. And with money and financials and material things, it's no different. All of those things, when perceived correctly, are used to teach you a very important life lesson. And we're not going to go right into what that lesson is, but I'm going to let you guys kind of think about it. Okay, so why is it that we've been operating and going through the same things, right? If I'm having trouble paying my bills, it's probably not the first time in my life that that is happening. I must be doing something the same way. I must be so stubborn and not letting go of being right about something that has the same results show up over and over again. And when I say pay your bills, it might be literally paying your bills. But it might also look like the same relationship, the same boss that you get over and over again, the same intimate romantic relationship you get into over and over again. It isn't the world outside. See, first we have to recognize it is not the world outside that has us loop. If we can't pay our bills and it happens over and over and over again, and other people can, how come somebody else can and I can't? Is it because I've been targeted? No, it's because the thinking and the perception around money is different between one and the other, between you and somebody else. You must be holding on to something else. See, first we have to have the courage, and we have to have a conviction right now to really let go of our righteousness around it. Because when we talk about money, when we talk about sensitive subjects, our ego comes up and it will defend why we are where we are. But let's put all of that stuff aside for a second here. All of our righteousness, let's put it aside so that we may perhaps take on a new operating system, right? In order for us to have a different way of our programming come out, it's not just fixing little things on the top. It's we have to change our entire operating system inside. The operating system needs an upgrade, and that upgrade is forgiveness. We're going to go into the definition of forgiveness in a second, but the upgrade that you are looking for is forgiveness. You have to be able to change a way of being, okay, or a way of thinking that you've been operating out of your whole life. We've blamed something else outside. Every time that we get into some sort of trouble, we want to excuse ourselves of the blame. We get into an argument with somebody, it's their fault. We can't pay the bills, it's somebody's fault. It's the government, they're charging me too much. All the stuff, right? We blame everything. First, we have to, step one is to take ownership of it truly. That if it's to be, it is up to me. And if I'm going to be able to get out of this chain of this cycle of making money, losing money, investing money, losing money, trusting somebody, getting my heart broken, whatever. In order to break all of that, we must be doing something different. We must do something different. See, the Course teaches us that what happens in our life is a manifestation of our belief systems inside. Okay? When we want to buy a car and it's a red Corvette, 2022 Corvette, we're like, I really want to buy that because I don't see a lot of people with it. You know, not even red. Red might be too common. Let's go with like lime green. The moment that enters your mind, you start to see lime green cars everywhere. You start to see Corvettes everywhere. Not because it wasn't there in the first place, but because you didn't bring it to the forefront of your mind. And it's the same thing here. What is the problem and what am I not seeing? Just because I am not seeing it does not mean that it isn't there. But while we're here, if you have made it and you're listening to this part, this is the calling for you to let go of some strong belief systems that you've held on to, whether it's about money or about people or about a person. That thought system is what is creating the reality that you live in right now. And if you're unable to pay bills and having money issues, what belief systems are in the way? And the way that we start to shift that is through forgiveness. Now, what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is, we did a close-eye meditation right before the call. Forgiveness is, let me bring up a picture of something that I think I am a victim to. Okay? Whether it's they are the reason that I'm upset, they are the reason why I can't pay my bills. Okay? I have resentment, regret, judgment, attack against it. Whatever that picture might be, it could be a person, a situation. And we begin to see, and we focus on that picture, and we start to see a light come through. A light from a place that we didn't see before. Right? We allow ourselves to see light where light wasn't before. And then we allow that light to encompass the entire thing, and then it reaching out and extending that light, sharing between myself and this picture. This is forgiveness. Okay, and I'm going to explain a little bit further how that's forgiveness. Forgiveness is really for us to be able to release an illusion, okay, which is the picture I have in my mind about something. I can hold on to of grievances about a lot of things in life. Okay, we hold on to grievances to a lot of things. Right? For somebody, you might blame your dad. You might blame your mom. We always blame something, but forgiveness is not to allow our judgments and these pictures to operate and enslave us. It's to really recognize the inherent innocence of others and ourselves. This is forgiveness. to recognize the inherent innocence, right? That means we start to see the light again. Where I once saw darkness, the light is starting to shine through. And until you're willing to let go of the things that you're blaming, it will keep looping for you. You can't help but manifest that reality. What you resist persists. And that's why it keeps going on. The same money issues, the same situations just keep showing up in different forms. You have money, you lose it. Whether you lose it through an investment or someone steals it from you, it's not making a difference. It's because you have it. You have some story that you're holding on to. And the ego right now is going to be resisting, especially if you are in money situations right now. If you are tight with money, you will fight for why you're in the place that you are. Forgiveness gives us the opportunity to let go of something that we hold valuable that is not valuable. That's why these lessons keep coming. The lessons keep coming in your life to show you what you've held valuable and what you deem valuable in your life, but is not valuable at all. This is what forgiveness gives you. And this is what the lessons keep showing you. What are you being right about that does not serve you, but somehow you have an illusion that it serves you? That holding on to a resentment or a grudge or a grievance against somebody is somehow serving you. See, what it's serving you, it is serving the identity you've designed around yourself. See, this is that cycle of madness and insanity. We use a story to create and justify who we are today, the character of who I am. And because I use that story to help create this character, I can't let it go. That's why it's valuable to me. So if you're holding on to a grievance about your father, your mother, your past love relationship, your boss, whoever, if you're holding a grievance to that, see, you think that's valuable because it got you to where you are right now. You're holding on to this identity. I'm holding on to Alex's identity, right? Man, the story of this person wronging me, that's why I operate the way I do, and I can justify my actions. That's why I find it valuable. But when you truly question that, you realize it isn't valuable because what I want, I don't have what I want right now. I'm still stuck trying to figure out how to pay bills. All of those stories that you hold on to contribute to the position and the place where you are today. That's why forgiveness helps you pay bills. This is why forgiveness gives you the opportunity to change this new you, right? If the current you right now is not forever at peace and happiness and happy, right? Truly, though, truly, if our mind is not conflicted, that clarity is here all the time. If you do not have that, that means we have to constantly look to what do we have to let go and forgive. Forgiveness is really a clearing. It does not condone, okay? It doesn't condone all the things. Forgiveness isn't a way for us to condone bad behavior or anything, but it's just a shifting of our mind to what doesn't serve me. What am I holding on to that does not serve me? Like I said earlier, anybody joining new, if you are struggling, having an issue, paying bills, and you have money issues, this is not the first time in your life that you're having this. But if you want to have a breakthrough, around money, around relationships, around these things, you have to let go of some of these things, some of the things that you're holding on to that is keeping you in this place, the stories. Right? If you can't be in a solid relationship and you're still blaming your dad or your mom about it, what is that serving you? We have an illusion that it's valuable because, oh man, that's why I can't have it happen. Stop blaming things. Look towards the past event, right? Whoever you're blaming, see the light come through. Keep doing it. If it goes away, do it again. Do it again. Forgiveness is an everyday practice until it manifests as something different in front of you. See, I watched I don't even know if it's a documentary, YouTube video, or something somewhere, but it says that everything is energetic, electronic field, force field around us. And if we really think about it, if anybody has seen Oppenheimer, I just saw it, but it talks about atoms. This physical body, is made up of mostly space. Electromagnetic fields give us the illusion that there's a solid surface here. And then I saw another, literally right before this, a meme or something of Neo in the Matrix trying to bend the spoon with his mind. Stop focusing on the spoon, but to see the reality of what's here. And he's like, what reality? That there is no spoon. Whatever you're holding on to, there is none of that. Whoever you're blaming, that isn't true. If you want a different outcome, you start by using those things. See, those things all are teaching devices, but since we don't recognize them as teaching devices, we just blame it on those things. We think that that serves a purpose, but the purpose that it really serves is that it triggered you. You have resentment or a judgment or something against it. That right there is your moment of salvation if you see and perceive it correctly. Everything that triggers us is an opportunity to let go and forgive some sort of grievance that we've held in our lives. Some sort of fear that we can let go of. And when we get there, okay, all this conversation will be gone when we truly get to a place. But this is an everyday practice. It isn't, hey, I'm going to do it once. And Alex said, let me forgive something in the past. I've done it. Why hasn't things changed? It's because you haven't truly done it. It's still with you. Because if you've done it, you won't even know that that was the thing. It's already over. The blame of it will be completely gone. The needing to forgive it will be gone. That's how you recognize it. If you think, oh my God, I still got to forgive it, then yes, you do. All right. See, the Course says that what we try to do is we try to conquer fear. The needing to try to conquer fear makes fear bigger. You're giving it more attention and more energy. It just gets bigger. If you're always in the I don't want something, you're making that something bigger. You're giving it more thought. You're attracting it to you. Want, don't want, doesn't matter. That's still energetic attraction. So forgiveness offers us the opportunity to really set this thing free so it no longer has a grasp on my mind. It's no longer attached to my identity of who I am. See, the identity of who we are is the most valuable thing we hold on to. Now, the Course says everything that you think you are is an idea to let go of. Oof. That may be too far for most, and we won't go there. But I'm just going to drop it for a second, that everything that you think you are, all the situations, the character of Alex is an idea that gets to be forgiven also. So I hope you guys are starting to get just a small grasp of what forgiveness, the forgiveness that I'm talking about and the Course is talking about, is the letting go. Forgiveness is the recognition that whatever I blamed did not do to me what I thought it did. I am not this way because of that situation. I am this way because I've given it power to take over. Everything is neutral. Nothing is good or nothing is bad. But what you do with it and how you perceive it will drastically limit you or unlimit you. And that's the real way to look at everything. Is it moving me closer to happiness or is it moving me away? That's the only judgment we should have, is to look towards that. Any other judgment, we will judge incorrectly. Doesn't matter what you judge. Because as long as you give anything the credit, I don't care if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, if you give that thing the credit, you are giving your power over to it. And if you give your power over to one thing, you can't help yourself but give power over to others. This is why in the Eastern practices, I forget what it's called. I think it's called consecration. I hope I'm using it right. But everything that comes, all the blessings, all your, all the good, all the bad that shows up in your life, you give it all over to a higher spirit. And in other religions, they practice give all the glory and everything to God. Because as soon as we start taking credit for something, the ego starts to build. Right? The ego starts to build. And we're like, ooh, yeah, I like that. Ooh, I don't like that. And as we hold on to those things, we actually begin to limit ourselves. Because no matter what compliment or anything bad or whatever or attack that somebody can put onto you, it will always, no matter what, be short of who and what you really are. If you take it with that which does not belong to you, you start to have an illusion of who you are. So begin to offer forgiveness to all the things that you might blame about yourself. And you don't need to know what it is. It's going to come up. This is the self-awareness part. The thoughts that come, the words that come out of your mouth. Recognize those things and what you are giving blame to or credit to. And then we offer forgiveness. In any moment, we can close our eyes. We can look upon it. We see the picture of what we see. And we allow a light to shine through it. Let the light encompass the whole thing. And let that disappear into the light. It returns from where it once came from. And we don't need to be attached to any of it. Once we take that picture and we add it to our collection in our library, in our heads, it will limit you. I don't care if it's a good memory, a bad memory, or whatever imagination that you make. To truly be released, we have to let go of all of it. Now, one thing at a time, obviously. Because when I say that, everyone's like, oh shit, that's so much. Don't make it so much. The next time you find yourself triggered or in judgment or resenting something, just simply take it, close your eyes, 10 seconds, pull the picture of it up in your mind, what it looks like, what they're doing, and then look for the spark of light. Look for it. If you look for it, it will show up. And once it shows up, allow it to expand. See, that's the power of our minds. We can make anything happen. All your complaints, all your judgments, all your gossips, everything, just be self-aware of when those thoughts come. And those are the moments that forgiveness offers us freedom. So when it's around money, I don't care if it's, I need to ask somebody for money. There is an image of why you shouldn't do that, of why it makes you look this way or that way. There's stories that are made about everything. Asking for help, asking for support. No big deal. We could break through that. All right, so take a pause here. Drink some water. Allow ourselves to dissect or reflect on that for a second. If anybody wants to share anything, please feel free to do so. I got our morning meditation from lesson 121, or inspired by it. It's not exactly it, but I was inspired this morning going through that. And yeah, it was great. I just winged it. It's what it was called to me in the moment, and I did it. I thought it was awesome. It worked really well for me. It's not recorded, nor is it live. So if you want to be a part of those things, make sure you're here on time, and B, you click on that link and you register and join us on our Wednesday and Sunday morning Zoom.
I think that's so great that you said that, and it just brought to mind that in our minds we could make anything happen, and it's so true. It is so true because we could make anything, we could expand or contract anything in our minds. Yet the tendency, the human tendency, is to always go down that rabbit hole, go down to the dark side, to expand the negative and contract the positive. And I'm just wondering, what is it in us that makes us go in that direction? That is it just our past experiences, or what is it takes us down that wrong path every time?
It's a muscle that you've trained. You've trained to take certain things in and cause it to be bigger. A traumatic event happens, you keep feeding it. You keep feeding that little monster until it becomes really big and it occupies a huge part of your mind. Okay, the reason why I don't drive is because of this and that, because I'm afraid. The reason why I don't do this is because I've heard a story of this happening, and we keep that running. And we've allowed it, we allowed it to dictate our decision making. And every time we do it, we strengthen that part, which is to look towards fear. We look towards oh my God, what possible bad thing could happen? And sometimes it's so small. It's just me looking stupid. If I do it, I'm going to look stupid. And so you limit yourself from everything. Oh, and this is also how our creativity is crushed, right? We're teaching a course right now on creativity, and one of the things we share is a study that they did. They went to, and it's a very simple study. They go to a second grade classroom and they say, "Hey, who's creative? Who wants to create?" Everybody raises their hand. All the kids running around just yelling. Awesome. And what happens as you get into older and older grades? Oh, it looks stupid for me to jump up and do that. Oh, it looks stupid for me to raise my hand. It's not cool. But who said? And it's not till later on in life we're like, man, all those things that I cared so much about in school, of how I looked, none of that even matters. Let me go the opposite and just get outrageous with it. And then anytime that we go too far on either end, it doesn't serve us. Right? So it's about like finding the middle, finding the peaceful, harmonious space, and knowing what each moment calls for. Right? Sometimes we talk about, in a lot of the personal development space, feminine and masculine energy. But what ends up happening is we relate to one in one situation and we think that is us forever. We take that story. Now we've trapped ourselves again. But I'm always a storm and I'm always just crazy because I'm in my feminine all the time. Both awareness brings you to a space of I can access either one at any given moment. The reason for me even to know is to be able to be aware in the present moment. Not to take one time and one event and stuff ourselves into it forever.
Is it fair to say that as we get socialized, we get older, fear of judgment becomes our main drive, our main focus? That we're feared that we're going to look bad, that we're going to look stupid or whatever, and that's what limits us. Well, how we limit ourselves to doing things that we really want to do.
Well, and then as you get older, the less you really care about that. But then it's your own stuff that you are now judging, because you're judging upon the world now. You've created a world a certain way, and because the world is this way, you really don't care about what anyone thinks, and you just do your own thing, which is fine. But that also does not bring the peace. You see, we just swung to the other side. Either way, we've either isolated others from our minds, separated ourselves completely, so we don't care, or we care too much, and those judgments dictate the way we behave. It's every given moment. What brings you peace? We don't ask ourselves that enough in the present moment. This is why we talk about forgiveness, because forgiveness unlocks a past, frees your present moment from a past. Yeah. Someone says a bad day doesn't make you a bad person. Every day is a choice. I'll push you on that one. We talked about Sound of Freedom last week. Trafficking children one time, does that make you a bad person? I know. And I'll push these conversations because why not? Right? Unless we get triggered, unless we feel a strong belief about something, we are unwilling to really look at it. We're like, yeah, what Alex is saying sounds good. That's why I'll push it. A child trafficker does what they do. Does that make them a bad person? What you do, does your job define who you are? Does a mistake that you make define who you are? Does the time in which you do it define who you are? Right? If you had made some mistakes and you made a mistake and you've been making these mistakes, let's say, I don't know, blaming your sister about something, and you were not a good brother this whole time, then you switched. You had an aha epiphany. Okay, wait, hold on. I like this one. Iron Man in Iron Man 1, Robert Downey Jr. made money creating bombs. And he thought he was doing it for a good cause. But it was landing in the terrorist hands, and they're blowing other people up and using it to do bad things. Does that make him a bad person? Now, we can relate that to many politicians, whatever, Clintons, whoever you want to blame about anything right now. Okay? Biden, whoever. Do those things make them a bad person? Because at the end of it, while Robert Downey Jr. got captured and he saw all the Stark Industry bombs that was being used by his captives, then he was like, I finally know what I have to do. And he started to do good. At what point do we say now that he's a good person, that he's a hero? He went from being hated, like flaunting his money, doing the most ridiculous things. Since that is a possibility for everyone, since change and shifting of the mind, awareness is possible for everybody. Who is it? Is it up to me to judge? Is it up to me to deliver the lessons? No. The only place that can bring us peace is that we trust that moment will happen for this person somewhere, some way. And give me that moment of clarity about something that I'm challenged with. It isn't about other people, it isn't about other things. It's about where I can shift so that I can have the things that I say I want. So I will push those uncomfortable conversations sometimes. It does not make somebody bad. It doesn't make somebody good. So if you're, again, for anybody joining new, if you are having some sort of money issue, not being able to pay bills, or afraid about the future because of money situations, this and that, I'm going to say it again. It's not your first time. If it's not your first time, that means you must be operating out of a certain thought system. You must have an illusion that those thoughts, or whatever you're blaming, has value to you. And it does not. So we practice forgiveness on everything that triggers you, everything that upsets you. The people in your life will show you what those things are. They are all your teachers designed divinely for you. It's like, why the hell are you so annoying? Because I'm designed to teach you something. I mean, they may not say it that way, but that is what is happening. I'm trying to show you where your piece is not. That's why I'm freaking annoying the shit out of you. And until both sides can see it and perceive that correctly, that is the holy instant. When both parties recognize, even for a moment, what their purpose is for each other. That I am to serve you and you are to serve me. Our entire Legends Mastermind is about that recognition right there. And we use real estate, we use investments, a lot of those things, but the context is service. The concept is team. I want to be the catalyst of collaborative success. I want to be that. I want to be the spark, and I want to be the interruption to our everyday routine. Because when we get into some sort of routine, we get complacent. Complacency is not growth. Growth actually brings happiness and fulfillment. Growth allows us to question and look and be more open. Growth gives us the opportunity to recognize our power. Okay, take another pause here. Drink some water. You know what's crazy is I've been really sick the last couple days. And I was like, I don't know, especially last night. I was coughing like crazy. I'm like, I don't know if I can do the course, if I can do this. And last week, Natalia has shared about something with habits. So I have to do cardio before I'm even allowed to join my own call. Because that's the way that I'm going to get cardio going in my life. So I was like, okay, I'm sick, but you know what? I'm going to go swim. And I'm going to do my cardio because I want to join my own ACIM call here. I want to be here. I don't know. Maybe that helped me with not having to cough my lungs out while I'm on this call. But I've only coughed like twice. Yeah. The Black Plague is out of stock. I'll call them. My friend actually just took some, and he's like, bro, I can't believe it. This is the best thing I can't believe that like not everybody knows about this or takes this. He's like, everything's natural. So I've been taking it past couple days. But really it's for you to, it's kind of like, hey, when shit hits the fan, let me jump onto Alex's ACIM call. Or is it something that you kind of build with your system? Like my friend took that for like, I think 30 days or something. He also lost 15 pounds. So Black Plague, if you guys look at it, it's on Amazon. It's got like cayenne pepper. It's got all sorts of stuff. It's pretty spicy. All the things that are good for your immune system or whatever. It's all in one shot, and it's rough. It's hard to take. But it's good for you, I think. I don't know. I believe it. It's called Black Plague. So I've made a couple of Instagram videos of me taking shots of it. Anyways, who wants to share anything? Maybe Marianne Williamson wants to share something. Anyone? No. Interesting. Okay. Marianne Williamson's A Year of Miracles, day 120. This is for self-reflection. This is for reflection. This is not just one of those short ones on self-organizing universe. Okay, let's see what she's got to say. The universe is both self-organizing and self-correcting. The invisible hand that makes our heart beat and our lungs breathe is at work on multi-dimensional levels. Wait, letting somebody in. Arranging not only the extraordinary physical processes that keep us alive, but also what we experience. Insights, relationships, improbable meetings, creative moments, falling in love, emotions and consciousness, and miraculous occurrences. The universe, in fact, is one miracle after another. One stroke of genius followed by another stroke of its genius in an endless flow of opportunity for life to fulfill itself. And nature is not limited to the so-called natural world. It's as much a stroke of genius that you're sitting next to whom you're sitting next to on the bus today, or on the Zoom call today, or on the live today, as that your liver is purifying your blood. The universe is intentional. It doesn't do anything by accident. The difference between the so-called natural world and you and me is that you and I can say no. Whoa, that's a mic drop right there. The difference between the so-called natural world and you and me is that you and I can say no. The embryo doesn't have a choice whether or not to become a baby. The acorn doesn't have a choice whether or not to become an oak tree. The bud does not have a choice whether or not to blossom. You and I have a choice, whether to be neurotic or wise, harsh or gentle, blaming or forgiving. And the choice we make then determines not only we will be in the world, but also the experiences we will have here. That is mic drop from Mariam once again. Mariam for president. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. How crazy. The only difference between us and nature, and the reason why we can't tap into the full potential of miracles every day, one after another, is because we have the power of saying no. Nuts. Cool. So, what did that spark in you? What thoughts?
This is not Claudia's voice. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Excuse my appearance. We're over here redoing our office space right now in preparation for your arrival. And P.S. We have a fridge full of Black Plague for you. So you're welcome. Yeah, there's another post that came up this morning from another dear brother, and it was like, no matter how much money you make, if you're carrying scarcity, it's still going to be there. Like, okay, I'm making all this money and this monthly income, but yet there's this like impending doom in the gut or in the mind, or for me, it's been in my gut. And what you just shared, with Marianne Williamson's quote, Williams' quote is, gives me an opportunity to sort of sink in that it's all exactly as it's supposed to be, even though, I kind of live in that. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the topic. I had stuff coming up from the very first moment. I'm like, here's Alex. He sounds a little stuffy. Was he crying? What's going on? Paying bills, and all of a sudden my mind starts to go into worry. But because it shows me that there's that part of myself, that reflects, no matter how much abundance is coming through, abundance being, in the dollars, that there's still work to do there, and to trust it and kind of rest into, it's okay, perfect. This is why I'm here. I'm here to learn this lesson. So I just want to say thank you and be a contribution to your amazing call.
Oh man, thank you.
That was lesson 120. What was lesson 120?
It's day 120.
Day 120.
Yeah. What's up, Eric? You want to share something?
Sure. Yeah, I'm. Thank you for the great call, and I only have a few minutes till I have to step off and take my parents to the airport. But yeah, I mean that quote to me, it seemed like where in my life am I saying no and not surrendering to things that are for my highest and best. And currently I'm like in this uncoupling process with my partner, and I go back and forth. I'm like, did I give it my all? Did I surrender fully? And I'm just constantly in the question and like what's possible, and like how is this even? It's just like so much to uncouple and do, and she's still living with me, and it's just like it's been a lot on my heavy on my heart and mind. And I talked to Adam. He's got where's the heart and the mind? Why is it not connected? And what do I do to get it back in touch with each other? And, it's very easy to lose that touch.
Yeah.
And, that's what I'm going through right now. So I don't know what else to share.
No, thank you for sharing, because here's the thing. It can't ever be disconnected.
Right.
There's just I'm not seeing it. I'm not resting into the being. There's something that I get to forgive about my cycle that I'm in. Like, what if something is happening for us and we're having uncertainty around it? What is this cycle that just keeps showing up? Because for sure it won't be the first time, right? If I'm still struggling with it, it's because it's just the same thing over and over. And then for me to look at, maybe I got to forgive myself, because there might be some heavy judgments there too, right? So thank you for even honestly and vulnerably sharing with all of us, because just like being able to pay bills, right? Just like having money issues and all of that, there's no guarantee. And I want to always make these calls. I want to bring it back. A lot of times I bring it back to money, because that is one of the biggest things that we can talk about, right? It's one of the biggest like challenges that we kind of have. So, send the entire situation that's going on for you just as much love as you can, as much just stepping into this is what it is and it's perfect, right? And then just stepping more into, you either choose all the worries and all the, oh my God, how do I uncouple more, whatever way, whatever it is that you think that you want to have happen, let go of all of that and put that aside, right? And just start to step more into the loving, the gratitude part. Think about the things that you're grateful for of that relationship, and of her and of you, of yourself. What are you grateful for? Right? And from there, you're training and working a muscle in your mind to see more of loving thoughts. So that's the same for everything, all the situations we have. Okay, maybe that looks like a uncoupling relationship or whatever is happening. It's all good. It's just a form of the same thing that all of us go through with something. All right, so we all just, here's a teacher for me. She's a teacher. This is a teacher. Life is a teacher, right? This is an embryo that is growing. This is an acorn that is turning into a tree. I can't stop it. I just get to roll with it. All right. Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
And, give gratitude for it all.
Yeah.
Look at what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Cool.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I gotta step off soon.
Take care. Drive safe.
Right. Thank you. Will do. Hope I see you soon. Feel better.
I hope I do too. What else? Hey, Galia, welcome. Yeah. Go ahead, Marlene.
Hey, Alex. I didn't know you were sick last night. Thank you you always show up like full of energy and like giving yourself to others, I guess. So thank you for doing that. And I just want to also acknowledge Adam for sharing that. And here's a brother, right, that I look up to in his own journey. So sometimes we might feel, I know it's my case, that it's just me that I'm struggling with this. It's just me that for some reason, I'm not getting it, right? And it doesn't matter like how long you have been working, let's say, doing this internal work. There are certain patterns and maybe things that we unconsciously learn as little kids or whatever might be the case that will show up. So what you just said after the second share, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. It's perfect. You know, whenever you get to whatever that is, like that place of scarcity or fear or whatever it might be, just turn to what you shared. Is like turn to love for yourself, for others, to forgive themselves, to keep going to that place. I don't know if that makes sense. But thank you for sharing, so authentically, I guess, and it's always a struggle for me. So now that's why I keep hearing, like Tony Robbins in my head. If you think you can't, you must. And that's why I'm sharing every time I can in this call, because it's a trigger for me. I know it's in your social media, it's a trigger. So, and by the way, I just found out right now, I have read that, to me, it's almost like a poem, really, that Nelson Mandela made very famous. And I just realized right now that it was Marianne Williamson who wrote that, our biggest fear or something like that is called, that we don't really fear our darkness, but our light, that we are not inadequate, but powerful. It's like, oh my God. I mean, I have read that so many times, and I just realized it's hers, really. So
Yeah.
I just share that little miracle that just happened for me, like a little light bulb went off in my head. So thank you.
Yeah, that quote is in movies, it's extremely famous, and people don't even know who Marianne Williamson is. Right? That we do not need to diminish our light around others. And that the only way to inspire light is to be the brightest light that we can be. So, yeah. Okay, so who else? We're actually going to end the call early today because today Nick is going to the airport and I'm going to take him to the airport. He spent the last couple days with me, or the last 2 weeks with me, 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I get to send him back to his mom and to his dad. Okay, what else? I'm going to do another 10 minutes here and then we'll wrap up. So if you just are joining us right now, this has been a just really phenomenal call, and go back and watch the beginning of it. I think this is one of the more connected downloads that has happened on these calls. So Actually, I feel like all of them are. Every call is kind of like that. When I leave every call, I'm like, man, that was such a great call. It was the best call I've ever done. Every time. It's like a routine. I leave this call and I go upstairs. Love's usually still in bed. And I'm like, oh my God, that was the best call ever. And she's like, oh yeah, what happened? And I'm like, I can't remember. Cool. So let's see what else. Hey, Dwight, welcome, brother. All right. Morning. You know, I really think that line is the theme and a mic drop for today. You know, the difference between the so-called natural world and you and me is that you and I can say no. Man, so good. Good. How's it going? Right? I mean, it's mic drop. Cool. So what else? What else is what anything else that came up for anybody? Anyone having any challenges, struggles around anything? You know, anything you want to add, Natalia?
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this, you know, the lesson keeps happening over and over again until we forget. And so have you had instances in which you have thought that you've forgiven something and then years down the line or not so long, it comes up again and you're like, damn it, when I thought this was quote unquote forgiven, worked through, healed.
Oh yeah.
And is there an indication or a time in which you're like, okay, when it lands and it's like, okay, it is done?
No. First of all, I've come to peace and I've come to terms with the fact that it's never done. Okay, there are certain things that we are just meant to learn our entire life. Just keep going. Now there are things that we can let go of, right? So my whole thing, there are things I know I'm definitely done with this. People cut me off while I'm driving, I have zero reactions to. I know I'm definitely done with that. Okay. Reactions to certain other things, I know I'm done too. Like, you know, when people say something and whatever, I don't immediately blow up or, you know, respond how I did when I was in college, right? Some of those things we can let go of. Now, when it comes to money, when it comes to relationships, those are lifelong lessons. Because wherever we go, whatever situation we get ourselves into, here we are. Right. And that's deeply ingrained from our childhood. I don't know where it is, but those were the lessons and the environment that I was put into. And who I am, the character of Alex, through those stories are huge. Right? Like some of the things that I experienced in high school, who I was, I feel like define a big part of who I am. How I was in college, the transition that I've made, my relationship to certain things, like it's all there. Right? So those are the harder things to forgive and let go of, but I've developed a different relationship to the stuff that comes up. I'm not like, oh, here I go, I didn't learn it. I'm like, oh, sweet, here I go. Right? I'm not like, oh, I'm like, great, I'm ready. I'm ready for it again because I know that it's going to just lead me to more clarity and towards where I want to be. Right? And here's the other thing. Every time a lesson comes back, okay, so maybe it's the cycle of relationships that you get into, the stakes get higher. Maybe it's around money, the stakes get higher because you've collected more things. You think that commitment is to be more all in and tie it all together, right? Is to invest all of your money this time. Is to intertwine completely in a relationship, right? You think that shows love, and then so the stakes get higher and higher. Now the thing is, we have to be conscious that it's a everyday practice, everyday forgiveness, and that when these things come up, teaching, learning moments, this is what I live for. I live for my teaching, learning moments, right? Because there's a curriculum that is set for all of us individually. Okay, we all get to learn the same thing, but through different forms. And that's the practice. And when we start to realize that that's our practice and that's our curriculum, we allow everybody to go through their own curriculums. Does not make them anything. See, this self-awareness and this recognition allows us to bring peace into our lives and into our relationships. And then as we're in a certain mindset and make certain things real, the physical around us really changes. Right? And then also, everything is temporary. So if it's temporary, the lesson of loss and what you deem valuable will be gone. The more you attach yourself to, the lesson will keep coming. And you know what the lesson is? The lesson is that you are not your body. And I am not my body. And when we finally recognize that, and usually that does not truly, truly happen until we are on our deathbeds, ready to finally take our last breath. You know, Michael Singer, the book that we're reading in our clarity program, Untethered Soul, our entire life is a preparation for our last breath. So with that being said, last questions, and then we will wrap it up. Go ahead, Lyra.
Oh, no. I just wanted to share in regards to what Natalia had asked, trigger. I thought, something happened for me. I thought I was done with it, and then something triggered. And I'm like, I thought I was done with that one. And then what happened was I came to the root cause of it is all about money scarcity still. So it's a big thing for me to keep on working through, and I know it's going to keep coming up until I let it go. It's one thing that, it's so hard to let it go. I don't know why I'm hanging on to it. It's so easy to say let it go, but it's just so hard. Why is it so hard to just let it go? I don't know.
Yeah. The answers are always simple, but it's not easy. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
I feel like the answer for that is the quote from Marianne. Because we have the power to say no.
Because we can resist it. We can be like, no, I want to hold on to it. Right? Like the miracle of nature is that they can't hold on to anything. Right? So go ahead, Claudia. Last one.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, a little noise here, but so I just wanted to share. A dear brother, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, shared something that he was listening and driving, and he shared something like, we all come from the light, and the light is so bright that we don't have any. It's so peaceful. We don't have any feelings, emotions, or anything going on. So when we come to this world, we come here, part of our human experiences to feel and experience everything, right? So he says, and we get together to remind each other when we get stuck in that darkness, how to come out to the light. So I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Alrighty then. We're gonna wrap it up early today. I want to take Nick to the airport, and cool. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining here today, and I hope you guys have a blessed Wednesday. Hope this conversation brought up some things to reflect on, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Oh wait, maybe I will, or maybe Natalia will lead it. We'll see. Actually, wait, maybe I don't even know if we can. We'll both be in a certain place. Okay. So All right. We might not have anything on Sunday, but we will let you all know. All right. Much blessings, everybody. Take care.